Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Link for Growth Southwest Arts TV today on the 21st of October 2016. My name's Dan Richardson, and as usual, you can get in touch with me via Twitter at L4G Herts. That's at L4G Herts. For some reason, the banner that normally runs across the bottom of my name isn't working for some reason. But we have a packed show with a last-minute substitution of one of the presenters. But Tania is one of our regulars and has lots of news for us. Hi, Tania.
Hi there, Diane. Yep, I've got lots of news for you about all things changing at Watford Council and fabulous birds loose in the area and a cycle day and all sorts of stuff changing around here.
Okay, that's great. And Chris, hi. Hi. Now, you're on the way to Watford Market to talk about its second anniversary, if that's the right word. That happened a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it was around the 10th, actually, that it was the second anniversary. So now I go to the market every week, as you know, but I don't go inside the market as much as I used to. So I'm going to be ploughing in there today to have a look and see what's going on in there. But I know there has been a lot of changes with different people, different stallholders. So we'll have a little look around and see if we can get an interview or two.
Okay, that sounds great. And Neal, it's been a busy week in the Southwest Arts area for sport, but golf kind of takes on us, doesn't it?
Yeah, golf at the Grove, the British Masters, which first time that's been there. So that was a massive event. So we'll be reporting on that. We're reporting on Watford's game and previewing the weekend and some local sport and some boxing.
Okay, that's absolutely great. Now, Catherine, unfortunately, has had to pull out, so I'll be doing the charity news. And as usual, we have quite a few charity events coming up and news and announcements about some of these events that you have to pre-book into and stuff like that. It's half term next week, so there are lots of added things happening at Watford Palace and at the Watersmeet Theatres in Rickmansworth. And there's also lots of things for adults at the Palace, the Coliseum, and lots of small local venues holding events this weekend. As usual, it's been quite a busy week for Link for Growth events. This week has seen 3 events. Last night it was Link for Drinks in Watford at Moons. It was reasonably well attended. I think it was a good night had by all. Then on Tuesday in the morning, if Chris was in the UK, he would have been eating lemon drizzle cake because the kitchen held their coffee morning.
Chris was in the UK actually, Diane, and he wasn't. He didn't fly out until the afternoon, so he was there, and it wasn't lemon drizzle cake. I don't quite remember what I had, but it wasn't that. But anyway, it was lovely.
Okay, great. It's compulsory, you know, Chris. Anyway, okay, so I thought Chris had left before that event had started, but anyway, he hadn't, as you just heard. And then on last Sunday, there was Link for breakfast at the Junction Cafe, which is on St Albans Road, Station Road, Junction near Watford Junction Station. Tania, if you're planning to do some building, things are going to change in a big way for you in the way that you interact with local council.
By the looks of it, they are, Diane, yeah. So when I did some building work or with my ex at our home a couple of years ago, we had a very nice man from Watford District Council come round and sort out our building advice from the council's point of view, making sure that what our builders was doing was safe and up to most recent standards. Now, if we still lived in Watford, that would still be Watford's jurisdiction, but anywhere else in Hertfordshire, by the looks, it's now an independent company that's going to be doing it for them. They've combined all of the councils, 6 other councils have combined to make an independent company to provide all of that building control work for them. So the councils involved are Three Rivers, Welling Hatfield, North Hertfordshire, Stevenage, East Hertfordshire and Broxbourne. And this new company, sorry?
And Hertsmere. It's not
listed. Is it Hertsmere too?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not in the list on the because I'm reading it from the Hertsmere Council. There you go. So yes, Hertsmere is the one that's providing the stuff that I'm reading here. So yeah, all of these companies, all of these councils have got together and they're providing all of that stuff together. So presumably there's some cash savings that they can make with overheads by providing things together, but their aims are to work with builders, architects and agents to ensure business projects achieve approval, there's a suggestion in there if ever I heard one, with minimum disruption, saving time and money for developers and property owners. High standards of inspection so that property owners are confident their building work is safe, environmentally sound and durable. So there you go. Councils working together. There's going to be a new one-stop shop for most of Hertfordshire, and hopefully they'll save some money.
Yeah, and make it easier for anyone who is building. But they do it's quite an important role, isn't it? I mean, as you know from your own experience.
Yeah, it is quite an important role. You hear lots of, I'm not entirely sure how much of it goes on these days, but you hear lots of news of cowboy builders and all of that sort of thing. So this is one of the ways of helping to make sure that the builders that you employ as a homeowner are actually doing what they need to do. Of course, it doesn't stop you from having to negotiate with them effectively to make sure that they're doing what you really want them to do and what you can afford for them to do. But yeah, it does ensure that it's up to the right standards for the sort of building that the council's suggesting that we have in the area.
Okay. Now, ITN is saying that we should all duck.
Yeah. I have to say, ITV have got a fantastic picture of a beautiful bird of prey here. It's a golden eagle, and it's somebody's golden eagle that's got free and has been apparently terrorising Watford. Well, you know about me and catastrophic language. Anyway, there's a bird of prey, beautiful bird, that's got free. It's made a break for freedom in Rickmansworth. It's a 1-year-old male weighing around 8 pounds with a 6-foot wingspan. So that's 4 bags of sugar is what it weighs, and it's got a 6-foot wingspan. That's taller than me, but then I'm not that tall. And you'll see it, you'll notice it if you see it flying in the air. You'll know that it's this golden eagle because it'll have tethers hanging from its feet. You know, you've probably seen them in films and on TV and all of that sort of thing. They're the things that someone catches with their hand, and the bird then sits, puts its feet on your hand, and the person's just holding the tethers. So that's how you know it's this bird of prey. But actually, if you've got guinea pigs and rabbits and things like that outside, it's possible that this bird could come and swoop down and have a bit of a lunch or a breakfast with your pet. And it's also slightly possible that if your baby's small enough, then the bird might consider taking that too. So it could be at risk. It's a very slight possibility, but lambs, rabbits, guinea pigs are all on its breakfast list. So stay undercover if you spot something beautiful and enormous flying around the area with tethers hanging from his feet.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Now, there's been a lot of reports about how Watford is the most crime-ridden street and crime-ridden place in Hertfordshire and stuff like that, but the local police are saying, actually, that's not the case.
Yeah, it's all comparative, isn't it? Really. So it might be. I've not done the comparison in relation to other areas. It might be more crime-ridden than other places in Hertfordshire. It might be more crime-ridden than the central. Well, it's unlikely to be more crime-ridden than central London, but it's all relative. So. Actually, when you look at this absolute data and you look at it over time, I think crime's going down in the area. So this set of statistics that covers from September 2015 until August this year shows that a hot spot is the area around St Mary's View, and that's all of the streets around there. They can't pinpoint it directly, they just pinpoint it to particular areas. So it's the streets around St Mary's View seems to be a bit of a hot spot. But really and truly what they're saying is that these streets are, the whole of Watford is a particularly low risk area in terms of crime. There were some violent and sexual assault. And of course, if you're subject to one of these, then it's terribly bad for you and your family and in your personal circumstances. But I think what I'd like to say is that those initial things for individual people is terrifying and very, very challenging for them. But in terms of other people living a day-to-day life, it's not something that we need to worry ourselves about too much. The raw data can make it appear that certain residential roads are drowning under a deluge of criminal activity, says the Chief Inspector, but that's not the case. And actually the levels of crime are improving.
Yeah, by that you mean going down?
Yes. I wouldn't think growing up would be improving, no, Diane.
No, yes. It's just if you say improving, people might think, oh yeah, they're going up.
No, the levels of crime are going down. Good,
right. Now, last weekend was the first ever cycle day held by Watford Safer Neighbourhood team, police unit.
Yes, so the police were out and about in the town centre last Saturday, and I'm surprised actually that we've not had one of these before, because I've seen these done by other police authorities before, and I thought that we'd had one here, but apparently not. The Watford Safer Neighbourhood team had its first day in the High Street last Saturday. A lot of the police cadets and the British Transport Police were there. They were security marking cycles and all of that sort of thing. Did 70 bicycles during the day, and 23 people signed up to online Watch Link, the Hertfordshire Police's residential alert system, which I've been a member of and was very, very good. So yeah, really good thing, and look forward to one next year.
Okay, and finally, Croxley Business Park is renamed as part of a new development.
That's right, yeah, we've talked about this new development before, haven't we, Diane? Sorry?
We have.
Yes, yeah, we've talked about it before. It's going to be a big old development down there, and we've talked about the ground having to be cleaned because of previous uses and all of that sort of thing. Anyway, the picture of the new building, which is going to be called, surprisingly enough, Building 1, looks beautiful. It's going to be one of two new Grade A headquarters office developments. Planning permission has already gone through. It's a building of substance, and the rebranding is now it's going to be Croxley Park, isn't it? That's what they're calling it. Yes. They're going to call it Croxley Business Park. And yeah, Croxley Park is what it's going to be called. Beautiful new buildings, going to be finished or started next year, and it will be the right space apparently for headquarters buildings for major companies and entrepreneurial startups that need the right space to grow. So Croxley Park currently houses over 60 businesses, and large companies have moved in there, including Smith & Nephew and Kodak. Of course, with the railway redevelopment and all of that sort of thing, access over there is going to get better. So yeah, it's looking good.
Certainly is. And of course, hopefully it's going to bring new jobs to the area.
Yeah, absolutely, Diane. Really important.
Exactly. Okay, well, look, thank you for all of that and telling us all about the local news. And we will see you next week.
Lovely. Thanks very much, Diane. Take care.
And you. Thanks. Bye. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Diane.
Hi. Now, it's just been over 2 years, as we were saying in the introduction, since Watford Market moved to its current location round the back of the old Clements or TJ Hughes building next to the flyover. It's gone through a few rocky patches, hasn't it, in that 2 years?
Yeah, it's been an interesting 2 years. Of course, you'll know that we were very heavily involved in this, or certainly I was very involved in the market well before it moved, actually, and was quite passionate about helping the market get established. And to be honest, it's limped along. I have to be have to say it's not been easy for anybody. Certainly the transition to a much colder working environment and it being in a different place. It might only be 200 metres up the road, but by heck is that an important 200 metres up the road. And getting people to come up that little bit further has been a bit difficult. But I've lined up a few interviews for us to have a chat with a few people who are still here. I'm actually out in the street at the moment. I don't know whether you can see. It's daylight out here, so you can see that. I'm actually out in the high street. So, but I'm going to have a quick word with Grant. Now, Grant, if you'll remember, is the spokesperson for the market traders. So I'm going to have a quick word with him. He's got a stall here where he sells all sorts of football stuff, and actually a whole raft of stuff. I had some batteries off him the other week, so he sells all sorts of stuff. He's packing up, so I'm going to interrupt him. But hang on a second. Let me put you on the other camera so you can see who I'm talking to. Okay, so are you able to see Grant? There you go, Grant. So how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm getting by.
So it's 2 years and about 10 days, I think, since the transition up here. I know it's been a long slog.
I'd say time flies, but yeah, no, has been a long time. It's been hard work.
So, I mean, I was talking to Lynn a little bit earlier, just off camera, and she was saying that we've got to keep positive. There's been, it's here still. 2 years on, it's not quite what we expected, is it?
No, I think the major problem has been the footfall, isn't it? But I think it's expected that it'd be a walk through from Darren Road, and it's not really happening like that. Or if it is, people are just literally using it as a walk through.
Chris, can you move the microphone a little bit nearer to Grant, please? We're struggling.
Yeah.
Most of this year.
Yeah.
It's starting to fill up again now, hopefully with traders.
Has the redevelopment of Into had any impact, do you reckon?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think it's really cut the town in two.
Really?
I think a lot of people that go to the bottom end of the town don't travel up this far now because it's more difficult because, let's face it, the nearest point to the high street, I think now is probably past the BHS building, so probably Marks and Spencer's area.
Yeah.
To get into the high street, which obviously is a long way from here, so that hasn't helped.
There was a massive catalogue of issues, wasn't it? There was no signs up, then they redeveloped the car parks, then they got in a German market, then...
I mean, frankly, if what had been promised, or not promised, but talked about, had been delivered day one, it would have been a lot easier. The problem is, it wasn't ready when we opened, it was nowhere near ready, it took about a year to get half the stuff that was supposed to be there on day one actually on site. And that's made the job a lot harder than it should have been, really. And it's hard to get things back after that. It should have been open sitting in advance. In hindsight, perhaps we should have stayed in Charter Place a bit longer and then opened up when it was more
properly ready.
Yeah.
So, a couple of months now to really get stuff going for Christmas.
Hopefully.
Get all your stock coming in?
Yeah, I've got all the Christmas gear coming in. Start getting some snowmen.
Right, there you go, snowman there, Diane. If football snowman, no, not just any old snowman. It's a football snowman.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So hopefully, the next 2 months for me are very important. It's being a gift sort of business. The majority of the money is taken back in the year, and that's what supports you through the early months of the year.
Yeah.
So hoping for a good one. It's been a hard retail year anyway, and it's just not getting any easier.
Yeah, climate.
The economy at the moment.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll let you go. I know you're packing up. Thanks for speaking to us. All right, take care. Cheers. There you go, Diane. So not easy, and not getting any easier by the day, really. So I've got a couple of others. I'm just walking now through into the actual market itself, and I've got a couple of interesting characters to speak to in there as well. So first of all, I'm going to take you up to the food quarter now. I'd heard earlier 6 out of the original people that moved to this market remain. 6 out of 30, I think it was 32 or 33 that originally made the transition. So it's not been easy. A lot of people have disappeared. Now, the Sushi no Mei, which you can see behind me, the Japanese people, they're still here. I'm going to go and have a quick word with Anita, actually, and see if I can grab her to have a quick chat with her. I'll probably have to go around the other way, actually. So, I don't know whether you can see Diane, but can you see now that we've got these borders up here. Now, where we used to come upstairs, we've got these screens up. So there's now you've got a Trinidad thing up here, and you've got Mum's Kitchen here in their old one, and we've got Speakeasy Diner. Now I'm going to have a quick word with long time no speak. Now you're on camera. I'm doing a little bit of a video here. It's just so how's it going up here? Okay. Yeah, this is a real different layout. Yeah. So it's made a difference. Good. Well, it's feeling a lot warmer in here, and you've actually got a bigger space.
We haven't finished the work on it yet.
No.
There's still work to be done, but we are getting there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah.
We're still building trade.
Yeah, good.
It's good.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, it's over a year now. So.
We've been in this unit, yeah.
We've been in it not quite a year in this unit, but we've been on the market just over a year.
Right, okay. Time flies. The reason I'm doing this little interview is because it's now 2 years since the market's been open. So hi. So yeah, good. So it's 2 years now. I know you've only been here just over a year, but
since July 2015.
Right, okay. And how's it going? You were in the corner unit, which I've just gone past, and you're now in here. And I was just seeing it's
much better.
It's nice. It's warmer. It's there's more space.
We've gone from 12 covers to 25. So
brilliant.
Yeah,
and people sit outside as well when it's warmer.
It's lovely. The summer's been beautiful, hasn't it? It's been really lovely. We've had our tables out here as well.
Yeah,
which
brilliant.
people are still sitting out at because now they've got the covers around the edge of the market. It's not as windy.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
People are still sitting outside.
That was a massive problem earlier on. Yeah.
But it's really nice.
We're about to put doors.
We're about to put another door on here.
Right, okay.
Here as well, so it'll be completely closed in. So it'll be lovely and cosy.
And is it getting to be a bit more like a community up here now?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. Much different to how it was when we first started.
And are you getting loads of regulars and stuff?
Yeah.
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 Brilliant.
We've got a big following now.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it, Mike? I recently had to go in and have an operation, and every one of my customers, I had cards and flowers and presents. I was really overwhelmed by like you say, the community.
Yeah.
Market, all the traders. It was just like a big family, really.
And are the traders using you as well up here? Because I know that. Yeah, that's good.
They all do.
Yeah, brilliant.
They all do. And we give them a discount as well. So
fabulous.
You know, they come back to us. Everybody looks after each other. Actually, we sort of give each other discounts, don't we? So it works out.
I know there's only like 6 of the original people that came here still here, and I guess it was going to have to go through a metamorphosis. It was inevitable, and it's changed. Yeah.
But now, I mean, even this week, there's been another 2 or 3 units that have been let.
Yeah, there's a guy downstairs. I'm going to have a word with him. A guy, a Polish chap, opening tomorrow. Yeah. Interesting stuff.
So yeah, that would be really nice. But yeah, we're really enjoying it.
Good.
So it's good. It's not like you say. It's a nice community up here now as well.
Fabulous.
There's a few different ones up here. Whereas before, when you came up before, it was.
Oh yeah, it was
very sparse. But now much better.
Good.
Better. And sort of it's
building
on it as well. So.
Brilliant. All right. Well, all the best, and I'm going to pop in again, and because there's some new people here, and try some of the food.
Yeah, do. You'd like it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Like it, 'cause they're all up here now as well. So
fabulous.
Yeah, you should come in and meet some of the guys. And
Oh,
up. Yeah,
I'll do that.
Lovely.
All right. Thanks for talking to us. Take care. See you, Mike. Cheers. Now, bye. Cheers. There you go, Diane. So that's up here in the food quarter. I'm going to go down now because there's food coming downstairs as well now. So I don't know whether you remember, but when we originally were here, the food was only allowed upstairs pretty much. You weren't allowed to do anything proper downstairs. So, but there's a Polish guy. So now I did actually catch up with Joe earlier from the fish stall. He's actually shut now, but he said trade is down, but it's all right. That was his take on it. But I'm just going to talk to this Polish guy now. Hello.
Hello.
Hi there. Right, my name's Chris. Right, and you are?
Peter.
Peter, hi Peter. Is that P-I-E-T-R? Peter?
P-I-O-T-R.
Yeah. Okay, so this is you're just doing a clean out here. You're opening tomorrow?
Yes, so Saturday 22nd October.
Okay, and presumably Polish food?
Yes, Polish goulash.
That's Hungarian, isn't it?
Not all. It's multinational.
Okay.
And Polish pierogi.
Okay.
With cottage cheese and potato and with spinach.
Fabulous.
And famous Polish zapiekanka.
Superb. So you're opening tomorrow. They weren't allowing people to cook down here when the market first opened, so clearly they've changed their strategy.
Yes, and I've got a good support from environmental services.
Okay.
In Watford to set up everything according to the rules.
Okay, fabulous.
Yes.
Opens tomorrow. So Polish food in Watford in the market.
Yes, and tomorrow for the one day only, name your price.
Okay.
Food.
Thank you very much for talking to me. Cheerio now. Bye. Okay, there you go, Diane. So if you fancy some Polish food, that was the old lovely Lee's unit, and it's looking a lot cleaner in there than it was, I tell you. So anyway, I'm now coming up to have a word with Lynn. Lynn, have you got a moment? Right, hi Lynn. Now, we were talking a little while ago. You are the longest serving market trader, not the oldest, the longest serving.
42 years.
42 years. And your shop here, you've changed since you've come to the market.
I've expanded into knitting wool.
Okay. And was that because of the trade?
Yeah, I needed to increase my takings, and there was a gap in the market in the market for wool.
Yeah.
The wool stall had retired, so
why not?
Yeah, I enjoy it because I knit.
So. Now, we were talking earlier about keeping it positive. I've had a chat with Anita. They seem to have got a really good community going up there.
Yes, I think they have. They've worked on it, which is good.
Yeah.
I think what they offer is good.
And I know that I've walked around. There are a lot of empty stalls in here.
They are saying that they are letting them. Some of them are people coming in just for Saturdays, like pop-up stalls.
Right.
One day in the week. Anything to fill it up.
Yeah.
Vibrant. That's what we need.
So I remember when we spoke a while back, we said, it's not the same as it was where it was. No. Although it's only 200, you can see where you used to be from here. Yeah. But it's a long way from where you used to be.
It is, with all the work going on in the high street, yes.
Yeah.
It's made a lot of difference, I think, to people coming up here. So if it's wet, they've got to get wet to come up there.
Yeah.
Whereas before they could walk out of the Harlequin and walk into the market.
Or down the lift from the car park. Yeah, yeah.
No problem. We don't have a car park on situ here like we have there. But you've got to just be positive and keep going.
It's going to be getting colder now. Are these barriers helping?
Ask me in 6 months.
It's
the way the wind's blowing. I think it looks better from the outside.
Yeah.
I do think it does look much better.
And it does feel warmer upstairs.
I think it's more for upstairs, really.
Yeah.
I think it does look better.
Good. Okay, well, all the best. Christmas, is it going to be a busy time, do you reckon? You hope so?
Half term next week. Let's hope they all come out.
Yeah. Get knitting.
Yes, that's the one.
So there are quite a few coffee shops in Watford who've got sewing groups and crochet groups.
Yeah.
I need to get them down here, don't I?
You do.
Okay, I'll send them down to see Lynn.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Take care, see ya. Okay, so there you go, Diane. It's been a challenging time for all the traders here, many whom have not survived the 2 years, but we're coming into our second, was it the second winter now? No, it's the third winter now. So who knows? Who knows what will be the story this time next year?
Exactly. Hopefully it will pick up, because it's a great asset to have, isn't it? A thriving market.
Say that again.
I said hopefully it will pick up. It's a great asset to have, a thriving market.
Well, I think you find it's just got to adapt and change, and I think they're doing that. It's a painful transition. It was never, ever going to be easy. But I think I said this right at the start, which was, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as it was. And for it to, the only way it was going to survive was by changing into something which was what was suited to the town today. And, you know, we've got all the cheap shops in the high street. We've got all the multiples. These places have to be like Lynn's shop. It's the sort of stuff you can't buy easily and cheaply in the main stores. And she has to really build a profile for people coming to see the character that's on the market and the person. And it's more to do with that than it is to do with products. It's about service, about knowledge. It's about it's about loyalty, I guess, at the end of the day. And you know, it's an interesting one. And anyway, I'm pleased it's still functioning, and I will try the food, and I'll probably come on and do some food reports, so that and maybe even do a little bit of video that we can dovetail in with the show and see where we go with that. So anyway, that's me and my report for the market for this week.
Okay, well, thanks very much for that, Chris. It's really interesting. And of course, the other thing is the market, just briefly, has in a way kind of migrated out into the pedestrian areas of the high street, hasn't it?
Yeah, and like Grant said, the town is split in two at the moment, with the lower high street and the station down there and the food stuff that's available, and the lower part of Into. And then you've got the work, and you've really got to walk for like 150 metres before you come to anything else that's open. And you know what, 150 metres, it doesn't seem like a big distance, but when you're talking about the middle of a shopping centre, that 150 metres might as well be a mile. It's a long, long way, and if it's raining, you know, forget it.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm going to have to disappear. I will... well, rather, you're going to have to disappear. I will see you next week, and thanks very much for your report.
No problem. Take care. Cheerio for now.
Cheerio. Bye. Hi, Neal.
Hello.
Hi. Let's start with golf, because we don't normally start with golf, but the British Masters were in town last week for their tournament at the Grove. Who won?
Yeah, it was a massive event. So Noren won. It was his third European Tour win. He won quite easily in the end. I went to the Thursday. It was a very good day. Tough golf on the Thursday, very windy, with some not very low scores, which I predicted, but the low scores started coming in on the Friday when the weather got a bit better. chasing pack had Westwood in it. Unfortunately, as well as he finished, his putting let him down a bit again, so he missed out on an opportunity for a tournament win. But yeah, Sweden's Alex Noren was the winner.
Yeah, and for those who haven't been to a major golf event, is it worth all the effort of getting there and going and seeing it? I mean,
it's a great day out. When you first go, I've been to a few. You basically have to decide who you want to follow around. If you want to follow around one of the bigger names, it's actually quite difficult. So Westwood had a massive crowd following him. I went on the busiest day, and it's actually hard to get to see much. So the tip would be to find a place to base yourself and watch some players to come through. And if you do want to follow someone, follow just a slightly lesser known player as one of the big names, and you'll get to see a lot of good golf.
Okay, that's great. So carrying on with golf, since we're talking about golf, Bush's professional counselling qual is second in the Portuguese Masters after the first round. Yes.
So that's Callum Shinkwin, who actually got a very late call up to the British Masters last week. He didn't make the cut initially, but with people dropping out, he managed to get in, and he actually made the cut and did very respectable at the British. And in the Portugal Masters, yes, he started the day really well. First day, he's in joint second place with 5 other players. He's dropped a couple of shots today, but he's still in contention. So let's hope he can push on and get his first tournament win.
Yeah, and in the Alps Tour, which is the one stage or 2 stages lower, Matt Wallace, his good form continues.
Yeah, Matt Wallace is going really well. He was second place after the first day, and he's pushing on today, and he's leading the tournament by a couple of shots at the moment. So his great season continues in the Alps Tour.
Yeah, and this is the grand final of the Alps Tour, isn't it?
Yeah, he's walked this whole season. He's topped by a long way, and he'll be moving up to the Challenger Tour next to see how well he does on that. That's for sure.
Okay. Now let's talk about Watford, shall we? Watford FC.
Yes, go for it.
Last week, the game. I mean, I think you said you saw the game on TV, like a lot of Watford fans. Was it as bad as people said it was?
Well, I predicted a game with lots of goals because both teams can't defend. But it turns out Middlesbrough can't attack either. So it's actually quite a dull affair. Watford went and sat on the counter-attack. And I wouldn't have wanted to watch it as a neutral. There wasn't a lot going on. Obviously, having a vested interest being a Watford supporter, it was quite interesting. In fact, in the first half, Middlesbrough had most of the play, and they did look like they were going to be quite dangerous. But then, for some inexplicable reason, after half an hour or so, when they sort of weren't creating any chances, they sort of lost their discipline rather, and they ended up getting quite a few bookings and seemed to get a bit wound up very easily. And Watford took advantage of this and sort of like just quick turn in, and they were giving fouls away left, right, and centre, and actually completely changed the game round.
And a couple of Middlesbrough players perhaps should have got sent off, or
yeah, certainly one. Their right back, Antonio Barragan, he took Isaac Success down, who had got his debut last week, which everyone was really pleased to hear. He was causing him quite a bit of trouble. Success. He was turning him, and he blatantly took him down once and got a yellow card, and did exactly the same thing in a much more dangerous situation. And inexplicably, the referee didn't send the player off. Luckily, Watford won't ruin that because of a wonder strike early in the second half by Holibas. Edge of the box, out towards the left. A first-time effort. We should have had a penalty just before that, funny enough. Isaac Success was taken down in the box, and the referee waved the appeals away. The ball fell to Success, and he larruped the ball past the keeper. And it was... he's a modest man. He says it doesn't mean very much. He's very pleased the team win, and he doesn't think much about that, but I'm sure the rest of the team won't be saying that. It was a fantastic goal.
Okay. There was a little bit of discussion about a couple of Watford players falling out at the end of the game.
It was very strange thing to watch. Yeah, Holibas and Capu. No idea what they were discussing. You couldn't really tell. But it was very strange. We just won a game, everyone's celebrating, and they're having a big argument that was going on, and it took Dini to come and give them both a big man hug and split it up.
Okay, that's great. Now, Football Manager is not something we normally talk about in the sports section of the South West Herts TV show for Link for Growth, but actually they're talking about not only the fact they've developed and released the 2017 version of the game that includes Brexit and stuff like that, but they're also talking about the link with Watford that goes beyond just sponsoring the manager's seats and the some of the shirts.
Yeah, they started off as the Watford's main sponsor a few years back, and then the new owners came in and changed sponsor. They obviously thought they could get more money, but they kept Football Manager on. And like you say, it looks really nice. The managers' chairs and that all got Football Manager on, and the shirts still have a small logo on. But turns out there's much deeper than that. Watford have given them full access to all their medical like testing facilities and their records and that, so they can actually see how a club does manage the players' fitnesses, and they use all this information in the programming of the game. So it's actually quite a deep partnership by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it is. It's really interesting how a fan, because it's of a team working in a commercial environment, can then transfer that across to, you know, I mean, it's perhaps slightly easy because it's a football team and it's a football game, but how the two work together.
Yeah, and he was just a Watford fan, and it was him who drove the company to Sega to actually contact Watford and join Watford and make the partnership with Watford. So it is a strange how these things happen, and it's just a local lad who worked for a company, being a fan, and all of a sudden you're doing new ways of programming games and completely changing the industry, really.
Yeah, and it almost harks back to the old days where the local builder or local businessman would be chairman of the local club, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of has echoes to that. Okay, now Mazzari, following the very defensive performance last week, is saying that he's an attacking manager who likes to attack. Yeah,
I think he obviously felt a little bit stung about the claims that Watford were a bit boring and not wanted to come out. And it was definitely a managerial decision last week. You could tell watching the football, Amrabat, who loves to get down the wing, and he's a winger, not really a defender. He was playing as wing back. He just defended, hardly got down the pitch at all. And Watford really didn't attack until Hollybass was high up the pitch, but that wasn't a general thing. That hadn't been happening all game. It was only actually, weirdly enough, in the last 10 minutes of the game when you expect them to sit back and hold on to the game. But then all the players all of a sudden started rushing through, and you would see Britos, our centre-back, all of a sudden on the edge of their box. And that was a very strange way to hold on to win a match. But I guess if the ball's in their end of the pitch, they're not going to score.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, Watford apparently scored the same number of goals as Spurs, but let in the same number of goals as Sunderland. Does that kind of like sum up the season? Great going forward, not so good at holding out for or keeping clean sheets?
Yeah, I guess you can say that does. We've not defended particularly well, especially against crosses. We've let not in. Amrabat's made a few mistakes to hand opportunities to players. On Saturday, Kapul kept trying to take the ball out from the back and was giving the ball away. And luckily, he never got punished. But it's much more interesting football to watch than the end of last season when we were 0-0 or 1-0 down and you knew we weren't going to come back and score. It's entertaining football. People are getting their value for money, that's for sure. Watford's got 10 points out of the last 5 games, which is excellent considering you see who we've been playing. So, yeah, it's all looking good, all looking rosy at the moment.
Okay, now tomorrow they're playing at Swansea. Watford boss Mazzari has been praising Priera and saying success is unlikely to play tomorrow due to injury. So how do you think it's all going to go?
Yes, so success is injured, which is a shame because although he didn't have the same impact as he did coming on a sub, I thought he had a good game. He was causing the right back a lot of trouble. So if he's not going to play, that will be Garley back in the team because our other main forwards are injured. So I don't think he's ready to risk any of the youngsters as a first team pick yet. It's going to be a tough game. Swansea played really well against Arsenal last week, although they lost 3-2. They look a really good team. And as Masari says, their league position is probably a little bit of a false one at the moment. They had a really tough start to the season, but they should come good. They've got a really good squad. It's a tough game, and a draw will definitely be a good result for Watford.
Okay. So you're predicting 1-1 the same as Lauro?
Yes. I hate to follow Lawrence because his predictions are normally really bad, but I'm good. I think he's probably right about this one.
Okay. Well, what's happening with Kings Langley Football Club? They only played one game this week instead of their usual two.
Yes, because there's a lot of teams in these lower leagues, so they often have to play 2 games. They then played one, and unfortunately, Basingstoke Town reversed the result from earlier in the year when Kings Langley won 2-0 at Kings Langley, and at the away game, Kings Langley couldn't even score a goal, and it was a 3-0 defeat, unfortunately. So not good, but they're still sat pretty mid-table. And this week they're away to Cambridge City, who are second from bottom on 10 points from 16 games, whereas Kings Langley have 18 points from their 15 games. So they'll be quite confident going into that game that they can at least get a point out of it.
Okay. Now, last weekend I thought Valerians were playing Saffron Walden. It turns out I was wrong, and they're playing this week. So Valerians lost 4 on the trot, but it's starting to look as if this is a bigger jump than people imagined.
Yeah, the first 2 results, luckily they got them, and they're still sitting okay at the moment. But 4 defeats on the trot, and now they're starting to play other teams that are around them and looking a bit dodgy. So they're going to have to start getting some results from this game. And like you say, Saffron Walden tomorrow, team near them in the table, they can't really lose too many of these games, otherwise they'll be heading down the whole of the league.
Yeah. Now, finally, boxing. Anthony Joshua's been in the news about will he or will he not fight Klitschko, and if he doesn't, is he still going to fight? Can you clarify for us?
I wish I could. Boxing's a funny old game. You never know what's going to happen. So for weeks now, the reports have been it's going to be Anthony Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko, big fight, £30 million to be announced soon. That's been going on for weeks now. And it seems that the stumbling block is that Klitschko wants another belt on the line. There's 2 vacant world belts at the moment. And although Anthony Joshua is the IBF champion, Klitschko seems determined to only fight if one of the vacant belts is put up. And at the moment, the governing bodies haven't seemed willing to do that. So they all have their own processes about who's ranked and who needs to fight. But there will be Anthony Joshua fight on that December the 10th, because they said they will get a replacement in if Klitschko refuses to sign. So there will be a fight of some description probably in Manchester on December the 10th.
Okay, so is it a case of just watch this space? What's the last possible date they could announce someone?
Well, if they're going to book the thing, you do get late replacements all the time. But the problem is, the longer you leave it, the less quality the replacement will be, because they will want time to be prepared properly. Someone's not going to want to walk in the ring with someone as strong as Anthony Joshua without having trained and prepared properly. So the longer they leave it, if Klitschko isn't going to sign on the dotted paper, unfortunately they won't get another big name. So I would hope to see something soon. Otherwise it's going to be a relatively poor replacement, and often then you get people coming out of retirement who shouldn't, and it can be a bit of an embarrassment and a dangerous situation for those boxers. So hopefully, I mean, they know their job, the promoters. Hopefully they've already lined someone up, and we'll get some news soon.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you for all your sports news, Neil. And I know that you're rushing back to Reason because you're hosting a yellow comedy event this evening.
Yes, that's correct. So anyone who wants to have a laugh, pop down to Reason Coffee Shop, 7:30 tonight. Funniest night of the month. Yeah, yellow comedy.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Neil.
See you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, Catherine unfortunately can't do this week's charity news, so I'm going to have to fill in for her. She had to withdraw at the last moment. Just a quick reminder, this Thursday, the 27th, it's the fire walk for to raise money for the Peace Hospice Care. You can still sign up and register. Via their website. The firewalk is taking place at the Caledonian Community Centre in London, Colney, which is over near St Albans. Everyone taking part in the firewalk must raise a minimum of £75 in sponsorship and pay a registration fee of £25. And the minimum age anyone can take part in the walk is 14. So all you have to do is go onto the Peace Hospice site under events, and it's there in the headline banners under events, and from there you can then click through and register your interest in taking part in the event. So that's Thursday, 27th of October, and I was trying to see a time and it doesn't say, but I think it's an evening event. The hospice are also still looking for dancers to take part in their Strictly Come Hospice 2017 dancing competition. They ran this event for the first time earlier this year. They are offering 7 weeks of lessons with 4 expert judges and a grand finale show. And you can still register your interest. You will dance in front of audience of 500 people at the Strictly Come Hospice Grand Final, with a chance of becoming the crown champion. You get 7 weeks of dancing lessons with professional dancers from the Paul Alex Dance Studios before you get to perform your routine. And Peace Hospice is saying whether you take part as a couple or as an individual, that they can guarantee you an amazing experience and a chance to learn a new skill. There will be a choice of either jive or the waltz. To find out more, and you need to complete the register your interest form on the right-hand side of the events page on the Peace Hospice website. And it doesn't say how much money they expect you to raise for this, but last year I think they were very successful in the amount they raised, and it was a great event. And so now, if you're caught up with Strictly fever this time, here's your chance to take part yourself. Just a quick reminder that the Michael Sobel Hospice have the Halloween Colour Dash on this coming up, and it's on the 30th of October between 10 AM and 12. And there's still time for you to enter, which is why we're mentioning it now. Come in fancy dress, and they're offering prizes for the best fancy dress. There's pumpkin carving competition as well with prizes, and there's spooky colour stations, whatever they are. Entry for adults is £20, for children over 12, and children under 11 will be charged £10 each. Special family price of £50 for 2 hours for two children is also available. Start time for the children is 11 o'clock, and start time for the adults is 12, both starting from the Michael Sobel Hospice, as I said, and that's on the 30th of October. The Michael Sobel Hospice are also running a Light Up a Life campaign. Every year they do this. They hold a Light a Life remembrance ceremony. It's a special event when people come together to celebrate and reflect and remember loved ones who are no longer with us. The service is non-religious, simple but poignant collection of readings and festive songs. At the end of the ceremony, the hospice Light Up a Life tree is lit up, with each light representing the life of someone who is being remembered. You can download a booking form for this event, which is going to take place. There will be 4 events taking place over the last weekend of November, so Saturday the 26th and Sunday the 27th of November, with a service at 4 and 6 PM on both days. There will also be a keepsake booklet to take away. You can register your interest via the Michael Sobel site. You can also, if you wish, dedicate a shining light, and the hospice say that lights will be lit during the ceremony, and our Light a Life tree will shine up until the 12th night of 2017. So that's 6th of January. There will be time for quiet reflection after each ceremony, and light refreshments will be served. So that's the Michael Sobel Hospice doing a Light Up a Life event on the weekend of the 26th and 27th of November, and you can register your interest now. The Michael Sobel Hospice also just announced the date for their Santa Dash and are now accepting bookings for their event, which takes place on the 3rd of December at Green Lane in Northwood. Adult entry fee is £20, children under 16 it's £10. The event will be roughly a mile long, and the entry fee includes a Santa costume. Children under 6 includes children under 16 includes a novelty item. For further information about the event, please phone the hospice and via the switchboard, and the event numbers and details are on their website, and how you can register. Again, you can find in the event section of their website. The hospices in France is also running a Santa Dash the following weekend. That's the 11th of December in Riverside, Hemel Hempstead, starting at 10 a.m. And again, they held this event last year, and they're looking for more people to run it this year again. And you can, the details yet aren't available for booking, but if you miss a Michael Sobel Hospice, you can't do that one, you still want to do one, then you can always go to Hemel Hempstead a week later. Now, it's half term next week, as Lynn alluded to when she was talking to Chris earlier, and Watersmeet has a special programme of events on. Starting on Tuesday the 25th of October, they have 3 events to get you in the mood for Panto, it says here. Dress the Giant. Come and help us draw a large-scale friendly giant. Learn new techniques with charcoal and have fun developing colour mixing skills while creating beautiful patterns for the giant's clothes. The work will later go on display in Artist Meet, and you also get to make something to take home. That's running. It's a free family drop-in event. There's no need to book for this workshop. It's between 12 and 2 p.m. on Tuesday. You can then stay and watch the film Tom and Jerry's Giant Adventure. This is a new movie. This is an original Tom and Jerry movie, and they are among the last animals living in Storybook Town, a fairy tale inspired theme park where dreams come true if you believe. Young Jack is desperate to save the park from the hands of a greedy billionaire, setting out with his loyal cat and mouse friends to sell his prize cow for some magic beans. This is on Tuesday the 25th at 2 p.m. It's a film that lasts for 57 minutes. Tickets are free, but if you book by phone, there's a £1 booking fee. Maximum number of tickets is 6 per customer, and they can be called either by calling the box office, or they can be booked on the day, but are subject to a booking fee and availability as well. Watersmeet are also on the 26th, which is next Wednesday, holding a Filmsmeet presents film Pete's Dragon. The adventures of an orphan boy named Pete and his best friend Elliot, who just so happens to be a dragon. It's a film that is on the 3 showings at 11 o'clock in the morning, 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Tickets are £3.50 for adults, £2.50 for children, and there's a £1 booking fee. And the event, as I said, is on the 26th, which is Wednesday. I believe it's a very good film and very entertaining. Then on the 28th, which is next Friday, Filmsmeet are presenting the film Ice Age Collision Course. Manny, Dago and Sid join up with Buck to fend off a meteor strike that would destroy the world. This is a film, as I said, being shown at Watersmeet Runs for about an hour and a half. The 3 showings again at 11, 2 and 5. Again, tickets are £3.50 for adults and £2.50 for children. The Horns are doing a full weekend of events this weekend with 4 gigs, and they also hosted the Watford Women's Centre event that we talked about last week, and the Women's Centre made just over £200 profit in the evening. So a big thank you to everyone who's involved in that. Tonight, Andy Robb is playing soul and Motown on the decks, and it starts at 9 p.m. If you get there at 9, it's free. If you get there after 9:30, it's £3 entry fee to get in, and it goes on till 1 o'clock in the morning. So if you want to dance the night away, then the Horns is obviously a good place to do it. Then tomorrow evening, the band Daft are playing at the Horns. It's one of their favourite bands. It's a draft or a top covers band comprising 5 professional standard musicians who perform high energy and dynamic gigs across the home counties and West London to consistently excellent responses. Apparently they play a whole load of recognisable songs and tunes that you would recognise, including tracks from Queen, Guns N' Roses, The Killers and Green Day, and there's a whole lot more bands as well that they cover. So that's Daft are playing at the Horns tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock, and entry is free, and they're playing till 1 o'clock. Then on Sunday they have 2 gigs this weekend. The first one between 4 and 7 o'clock on Sunday afternoon is free, and it's the Cruising Mooses, and they're a seasoned rock and blues, soul and R&B band comprising of musicians with an impressive pedigree who've played and recorded some of the best blues and R&B bands in history. The Cruising Mooses have been regular on the music scene in and around the M25 since forming in the early 1990s, and established themselves through playing a whole series of standout local gigs. And then finally, for this weekend at the Horns, the band are Total Who Odds and Sods Show. I'll get that right for you. This is another free gig at the Horns starting at 8 p.m. and it's it says here to come celebrate Trevor Weeks' life on his first year anniversary whilst listening to his favourite band, which I presume is The Who. So no doubt if you're a Who fan, that's the place to be on Sunday evening, which is the Horns. The Colosseum have this evening have a showing or a performance by the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain. The gig a second tour. It's on this evening. There are still a few places available in the circle. So if you want to get along and listen to them and watch them perform, then now's your chance. Tickets are still available, as I said, and if you're quick and log on, you can probably do that via the website still. Arms and the Men, the theatre performance that's been shown for most of October to date, is still on at the Watford Palace. The last performances are on this evening, and tomorrow afternoon is a matinee, and tomorrow evening is the last performance. This play has received rave reviews, and there are still tickets available. If you want to get in and see the show, then the show this evening and tomorrow evening tickets are £24.50, £22 or £17.50. And if you want to go along to and it's slightly cheaper for the show tomorrow afternoon, and there's a card handling fee of £1.50 online, or if you go in person or phone in, it's a £1 charge. As I said, tickets are still available. Both the evening performances start at 7:30, and tomorrow afternoon's performance starts at 2:30. It's as I said, it's a play that's attracting some great reviews. So if you are interested in the theatre, then do go along and have a great time and watch this play. As I said, it is half term, and the Watford Palace Theatre, just like Watersmead, are putting on some special events. The first being a Watford Palace Theatre partnership with Hertfordshire County Council, presenting a Hertfordshire County youth theatre production of James and the Giant Peach. Join James and his insect friends for an unforgettable giant peach of an adventure to celebrate the centenary of Roland Dahl's birth. Dahl's magical tale of an orphan boy's unforgettable journey brought into life on stage by some of Hertfordshire's most talented young performers. It says here it's suitable for both children and grown-ups of all ages. This performance is on Thursday at 6 o'clock, then on Friday there are 2, and Saturday next week there are 2 performances, both at 2 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. Tickets are £8 and roomers and under 16s it's £5 tickets. Card booking fees apply as usual with the Palace. So that's the James and the Giant Peach. That's next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Evening performances at 6 o'clock, afternoon performances at 2. For those who want something a little bit darker, perhaps, King Lear, a delayed live performance by the Royal Shakespeare Company, is being shown Sunday week. That's the 30th at Watford Palace Theatre, which of course is Halloween. So King Lear has ruled for many years. As age begins to overtake him, he decides to divide his kingdom amongst his children, living out his days without the burden of power. Misjudging his children's loyalty and finding himself alone in the wilderness, he is left to confront the mistakes of life that has brought him to this point. Anthony Shear returns from the Royal Shakespeare to play King Lear, returns to the Royal Shakespeare Company, I should say, to play King Lear, in one of the greatest parts written by Shakespeare, in one of Shakespeare's most epic and powerful plays. Tickets for this performance, which is at 7 o'clock on the 30th of October, are £15. There are no concessions, and as usual, there are booking fees applying. Then on top of that, there are a couple of local events we'd like to just talk to you about. This evening, the Kitchen Dial Up at 8 o'clock the Kitchen Croxley have an event called Dial Up, which is a music celebration of the 6th anniversary of the Dial Up Network events, which are musical events that's taking place down in the kitchen this evening in Croxley. And Yellow Comedy have, as Neal and I were saying earlier on, a gig this evening at Reason Coffee Shop. Doors open at 7:30, comedy starts at 8. The headliner is Andy Story, who I've seen a couple of times and I know to be very funny. Then there are a couple of, then there are 6 other comedians performing: Rosanna Bosnack, Sarah Brown, Sam Carrington, Robbie Fox, Victor Pedra and Andy Quirk, and of course Andrew Carberry is emceeing as usual. So that's tonight, starting doors at 7, comedy starts at 8. It's free to get in, but Yellow Comedy do ask that you make a contribution in a bucket as you leave to cover some of their costs. Also, 2 other events just very quickly to tell you about. Watford and Bushy Art Society are holding their exhibition, have been holding it for the past week in the Into Shopping Centre in the gallery space, which is above Marks and Spencer's roughly. It's a very good exhibition. There's about just over 100 pieces to see, and definitely worth getting along. And many of the pieces of work are for sale, and you might pop along if you see if you like art and find yourself a really nice bargain. Then starting at Monday at 9 o'clock, the Watford Camera Club start their exhibition in the same place where the Weebas are holding theirs at the moment, which is in the gallery above Marks and Spencer's within the Into space. Watford Camera Club's exhibition goes on to Sunday week. Again, that's the 30th till 5 o'clock. It's open each day until 6 o'clock and open till 7 on Thursday when the Into Centre stays open longer. So that's Watford Camera Club's exhibition starting on Monday morning at 9 o'clock. Then this next week sees a couple of Link for Growth events happening. On the 24th, that's Monday, there's Cafe Loco are hosting a coffee morning between 10 and 11:30. This Cafe Loco are on the station approach to Moore Park Underground Station. Also on Monday evening, Reason are holding a Link for Coffee. It's starting at 5:30 in the evening, goes on to about 7:30-ish. It's a great opportunity to catch up and meet people on the way home. Tuesday the 25th, there is coffee at Link for Business, Rickmansworth Link for Business venue, which is the Rivertech building where Chris went and interviewed the manager down there a few weeks ago and soon after it opened. Coffee there is starting on Tuesday at 4 p.m. So again, it's a great opportunity to go networking, to meet new people. Bushy hosts a Bushy coffee shop, or we say Bushy, but actually I think it's Oxy. That's LJ's Coffee House, which is opposite Bushy Station down near the Arches. They are hosting a coffee event starting at 9:30 on Thursday, and it runs on until 11 o'clock. So it's a coffee morning down at LJ's Coffee House. And then on Friday, the 28th, it's Link for Help down in the kitchen starting at midday, again for a couple of hours. This is a great opportunity if you need help with your website, you need help with other bits and pieces, finding plumbers or whatever. There's a team down there a team of volunteers down there who will be able to help you out. That is at the kitchen, starting at 12 o'clock midday on Friday the 28th. Obviously, as Catherine isn't here, there is no restaurant review this week, so it's just time for me to say cheerio and thank you for watching. If you do want to get in touch with us, then please do via Twitter at L4GSWHearts. That's at L4GSWHearts. Hopefully next week the titling will be back, so you can just read the Twitter address to get in touch with us. If you want us to cover anything, if you have any news or stories you want us to talk about, then please do get in touch via Twitter initially, and then we'll follow it up. Until then, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from everyone else on the team, and thank you to Tania, Chris and Neal for their contributions, and hopefully we'll all be back next week, and Catherine as well will be able to give us her restaurant review. So until then, bye-bye.